Hello, welcome back to Statman Dave Clips. Today we're going to be diving into Cesc Fabregas' tweet about Saka and Ødegaard. If you're new around here, of course, smash that subscribe button, like the goddamn video, and check out SofaScore. But anyway, it's time to dive in. Let's talk Arsenal. I think an interesting tweet over the weekend came from Cesc Fabregas. So we're going to have a little bit of a look at the tweet, we're going to have a little analysis and have a little chat about it. Obviously, Cesc, ex-Arsenal, had a great spell during the early, about 2005 onwards, where they were absolutely fantastic with him in central midfield, attacking midfield. He tweeted this weekend, Saka and Odegaard are the present and the future of Arsenal. Two big talents. So we're going to have a look at that. We're going to break it down, and we're going to see whether Cesc is right or Cesc is wrong. So first and foremost, Arsenal Football Club are massively in the ascendance, and obviously Saka and Ødegaard are really a key part of that. From a tactical level, Arsenal have definitely kind of changed and tweaked their system in recent weeks, but Ødegaard and Saka remain key players, so I kind of agree that they are the present of Arsenal Football Club right now. So in terms of Arsenal, how they set up with a back four. When fit, Tomiyasu, Ben White, Gabriel Tierney with Ramsdale in between the sticks. Partey very much plays as the number 6. And Granit Xhaka moves a little bit into the attacking area. Ødegaard moves into the inside right position. Saka holds the width on the right. And obviously Lacazette drops off the line. Arsenal looking pretty much 4-1-4-1. And I think the really important part about the two players that Cesc Fabregas is talking about, Saka and of course Ødegaard, they both fulfill really important roles in this team and in this situation. As Toby Chisel, let's get this party started. Resubscribe for 14 months. Toby, I am sick and tired. Defence needs to get in the bin. My team is broken, and my heart is broken. Someone needs to help Man United. Toby, it's going to be okay. All right, let's get the full cat. Let's get the camera up. Toby, these things happen in football. We've got to remember the cyclical nature of football, how things evolve, how things move forward. And it's going to be okay, Toby. It's going to be okay. But let's get back into Arsenal. So when talking about Arsenal and their shape and their importance of Martin Ødegaard and Saka, these two guys are very important. And I agree with Cesc Fabregas of how big talents they are, but the importance of the team. I think one of the things that I've really liked with Arsenal lately with the two players is kind of the rotation on the right-hand side. Cedric has been playing fullback a lot recently, but at the same time, even if Tomiyasu's in there, there's a lot of rotation between the three players on that right-hand side. And I like the balance that they give each other in the sense of, you know, let's say if Saka's moved inside, Tomiyasu's gone on the outside, Ødegaard will pick up the ball deep. And that's something that he did at Real Sociedad, to get on the ball and play the passes forward. He's a very technical footballer, someone that can play forward, that can play deep, that can play wide. But as well, you know, let's say if the triangle rotates in a different way, where the right-back's gone inside and Saka's still holding the width, the same thing will be present, where Ødegaard will play as the deepest member. And that same thing happens on the left-hand side as the right-hand side. And it's one of the big tactical evolutions of Arteta in the last few months. But going back to them more as individuals and more looking at them as players and how they can kind of, you know, evolve themselves. I do think with Saka, let's start with him. I think he's the one that really makes things happen in the final third, be it, you know, him holding the width on the wing, or be it playing in the inside position with Ødegaard overlapping or Tomiyasu overlapping. He's kind of the guy that's on the last line. And what I like about him as a goal scorer this season is there's a lot of different variation in terms of his goals. We've had him late arriving in the box. We've had him starting from a wide area with the ball and cutting in and shooting, as we saw against Norwich City, let's say. But also what I really like is when Arsenal have built down the left-hand side, and they're looking to, you know, create down the left and score with the right. I really like how Saka holds the width and becomes, you know, creates himself a little 1v1 by his positioning. The biggest thing I think with Saka, you know, in terms of his potential, is he's very tactically intelligent, and that's something big for a young attacker, 20 years old, for him to understand the game as much as he does. I think that's a really big thing that we can kind of look at and analyse from a perspective of kind of, you know, what's he done this year and where can he go, and look at him from a talent perspective. 20 years old, as we mentioned, in the Premier League this season, 8 goals and 5 assists, been directly involved in 13 goals in 25 games, a goal or an assist every other game, I think, which shows, that level of talent and that level of kind of ability in there. And he's obviously part of this new generation for Arsenal. And that's definitely something to kind of consider. The Watford game was a great example of Saka being involved, goal and an assist, 2 chances created, 1 shot, 1-2 out of his 4 tackles. I think the work rate's there. But again, you can see how wide he is, and that's so important for Arteta's system. Similar to Pep Guardiola, the idea is to create a spare man, then create a 1v1 potentially out wide, where you've got a quality overload in a sense, where Saka, as a dribbler, will beat most Premier League fullbacks, and you're creating that 1v1 situation to allow Saka to do that. But, as much as Saka's is that kind of winger, is that dribbler, he's also shown this season that he can provide the move. We mentioned previously his first goal was him receiving wide and cutting in. The second one was finishing off a move that started on the left. He had a 1v1 on the right and got a nice shot away. But his quality in those areas is big. And, going back to the initial tweet, Saka's got massive potential. Absolutely massive potential. Going back to Fabregas's tweet, to kind of round off the Saka section, Saka and Ødegaard are present and future of Arsenal, 2 big talents. The present of Bukayo Saka is already 13 goal involvements in a single Premier League season, 12 goals and 6 assists in all competition. The future for Saka, I think, very much could be left wing, could be right wing, could be left back. I think that is the talent of him. The level of where he could play multiple positions. He'd be a brilliant wing back with a 3 at the back system. And that's potentially somewhere that Arsenal could look to develop under Mikel Arteta that will give them really good tactical variation. And that's the future of Bukayo Saka, that you could potentially, change Arsenal up where Saka becomes the wing-back. We've seen Tierney operate as a third centre-back for Arsenal at times. Tomiyasu providing the width on the right-hand side. You've got Odegaard in there. You've got Granit Xhaka in there. And maybe Martinelli and Ødegaard off Lacazette, or alternatively Smith-Rowe and Ødegaard off Lacazette, and Saka being the left winger or the left wing-back that can provide that just direct threat on the left-hand side. I think that potentially could be the future. But let's move on to talk about his teammate Martin Ødegaard, another top talent coming from Real Sociedad via obviously a spell at Real Madrid, Real Sociedad on loan. What I love about his play in the final third is he's a really good inside right player that, naturally he's got an advantage being left-footed. That gives him that idea that he can play certain passes from these positions, but also that ability to link with another left-footed player is really, really good for Arsenal. And I think with Martin Ødegaard, it's taken him a little bit of time to get adjusted to the Premier League. Again, it's a faster league than the Liga. He dominated the Liga with his play, but we're starting to see Martin Ødegaard that really, really is involved. Got 2 assists against Norwich in the recent Premier League game, created 3 chances, obviously assisted one of the Saka goal when the play was created on that left-hand side. You've drawn Norwich over, then it's linked through that midfield area, and then he's played the final pass that's led to Saka scoring. But Ødegaard as a talent is big. Again, 23 years old, already captain Norway, and that's something that's been spoke about recently with the captain role long term, with Mikel Arteta saying when asked can he be Arsenal captain in the future, absolutely, he certainly has all the qualities to do that. I talked to his national team coach and know how highly they speak of him. He walks through the corridor and everyone loves him, a nice humble guy who leads by the way he is. And that as well, in a sense of where Ødegaard could go and could be, is like he could genuinely be Arsenal captain, which something that Cesc Fabregas obviously had that point as well. And I feel that's a level where you've got a player that not only from a possession and technical level is one of the best Arsenal players, but he could emerge as one of the leaders in the squad. There's been a big criticism over the years since obviously Henry and Vieira, Arsenal not got any leaders. Ødegaard could be a real surprise leader. And you look at his best games in terms of shot creating actions. 5 of his best 7 games this season have come in the last 5 games. And when you look at the Watford game, his creativity was absolutely on show. Created 4 chances with passes in the game, had 91 touches of the football. won 4 out of his 9 tackles. And that's maybe an area where he could improve in terms of, having a better pressing or tackle success rate. But you take the duo in Saka and Ødegaard, they're ranked number 1 and number 2 for pressures for Arsenal this season. They aren't just doing the nice things. And looking at Ødegaard further in terms of his play and importance for Arsenal in the final third, he's played the most passes in the opposition's half for Arsenal, the most passes into the penalty area. He's second for chances created, third for goals, and third for assists. 3 assists so far, 5 goals. Again, adapting himself to the Premier League and a big talent. And I feel like going forward and looking at where Arsenal will be, those 2 players are going to be so important for Arsenal's right-hand side in the future. And the way that they can evolve that with the left-hand side, I feel like there's going to be a left attacker signed. Granit Xhaka at the moment is playing that role where he plays high, but also, we see Tierney in there, we see Smith-Rowe, Martinelli in that central area. But I feel that left central midfield position is going to be the next level of recruitment. And if they can get a player that has the same attributes in terms of pressing, creativity, passing as a Martin Ødegaard, Arsenal are absolutely set. But just to conclude, completely agree with Cesc Fabregas on the tweet, apart from one thing. Cesc Fabregas, again, back to the tweet, Saka and Ødegaard are the present and the future of Arsenal, 2 big talents. Sorry, Cesc, I'm going to have to step in there and say, what about Smith-Rowe and what about Gabriel Martinelli? Hey? Because they are 2 big talents as well. And I think that is where Arsenal are going. I think, Cesc, you've let yourself down a little bit there. You've missed 2 stars. But throwing those 2 guys into this 11, of course, Martinelli goals, plays as an inside forward for Arsenal. And then the flip side of that, you've also got Smith-Rowe's ability on the ball. He's kind of this second striker type playmaker who's got real quality as well. That'd be the only thing, Cesc. I think you've missed out on someone like Smith-Rowe. 9 goals and 2 assists, directly involved in 11 goals in the Premier League this season. And as well, a youngster, 21 years old. Saka, Ødegaard, Martinelli, that is the future front 4 for Arsenal. And they are going to be absolutely sound in the Premier League. They're going to become very competitive under Mikel Arteta. But exciting to see Arsenal evolve. Thanks for watching, guys. Do get in the comments below. Is Cesc Fabregas correct? Is he correct? Or is he missing out Smith-Rowe? Is he missing out Martinelli? Let me know in the comments below. I've been Statman Dave. See you later.